In today's video, I'm making a Kokushibo build in Elden Ring. But before we get into it, there will be spoilers all the way up until the end of the manga. So just remember that before anyone gets mad in the comments. So first up, my character needed to look the part. And so that's what we've attempted here. So here we go, you can see his hair is looking nice. And his tattoo is looking pretty close to the Demon Slayer mark. Also, I'd chosen Samurai on this character because I needed as many Uchi katanas as I could get. So now it's time to get some clothes. And for the bottom half, I chose the Oathseeker Night Greaves, which means we were headed straight to the DLC. So all I had to do was kill Morgott, then a bit of traveling on horse, and I was in the Church of Benediction, which is where I could pick up the armor set. So now with the bottom half out of the way, we were onto the top half. And for this, I couldn't find anything purple that suited the look. Therefore, I just chose something with aura for Kokushibo, and that was the Raptor's Black Feathers. So after traversing through the Sage's Cave for a while, killing a couple enemies and going through some illusory walls, I finally stumbled upon the chest that had the armor. And it was now safe to say that we were looking pretty dripped out. Therefore, it was time to move on to the weapons and abilities. And for Kokushibo's first form, he performs a singular horizontal slash. So I decided the Moonveil's Ash of War would be perfect for this. So I headed into the Gale Tunnel and almost no-hit the Magma Worm, thus earning myself the Moonveil. So then I gave it a test on a couple of enemies and it was looking pretty good. Next up, for our second form, Kokushibo performs 3 crescent-shaped slashes. And for this, the best thing I could find was Spinning Slash, which luckily I was right next to the vendor for. So I just went over and bought it from the War Master's shack. And so Spinning Slash was looking good. It did in fact do the 3 attacks we needed, but now I was missing a magic affinity. So I headed over to Raya Lucaria, where the Glintstone Wetblade is located. Then I killed this sorcerer in order to obtain the Wetblade behind me. And so now that I had this, I could put the magic affinity on my weapon, which would act as the effects for moon breathing. And so for each Ash of War after this, I will also be using the magic affinity. And with that, we were on to the third form. For this, Kokushibo does 2 slashes that send out a storm of smaller projectiles. And the best thing I could find for this was the Stormblade. So now that I had also bought that from the War Master's shack, it was time to get a new katana to put this move on. And this was pretty simple. I just had to head over to the Death Touched Catacombs, pick up myself a second Uchi katana, and then walk on out, but only after killing this skeleton for the fun of it. After putting the 2 of these together, I did some damage testing on a nearby boss, and it was safe to say that this move would be useful in the future. Next up, it was time to get his 5th form, which is described to be like a vortex. And the best vortex I could find in this game was the sorcery Eternal Darkness. And for this, I had to make my way on over to the Swamp Lookout Tower in Caelid. Then after making it there, I had to go into this jail cell, or more correctly get thrown into the jail cell, and pick it up from this corpse. Then to get payback on the Bloodhound Knight who had attacked me, I decided the best way to humiliate him was kill him without him being able to resist. And now that that was out of the way, it was time to get myself a staff for this sorcery. And for this, I chose the Carrion Regal Scepter, which is obtained through Rennala's Remembrance. And since I was this far in the game, I just needed to go up to the Finger Reader and redeem it. And for this build, I will be using Rennala's Full Moon, but sadly that will have to wait until I'm partway through the next run. So stick around for the Rennala fight. But anyway, now it's time to get the 6th form. And for this, he does rapid slashes in front of him that then send out crescent moonblades slicing up his surroundings. And for this, the best move I could decide on was Waterfowl Dance from the Hand of Malenia, which meant going to the Halig Tree, fighting my way all the way down to her boss room, which did end up being quite a long journey. But once we were there, it was time to take on the boss. And this took a very long time. I was finding out exactly why Malenia was one of the hardest bosses in the game. And so I died quite a lot. But after enough attempts and hours of grinding, I finally killed her, which meant I could take her remembrance over to the Finger Reader and redeem the Hand of Malenia. Then I tried it out on some enemies, and it was looking very overpowered. So with that, I was onto Kokushibo's 9th form, where he's said to do multiple downward slashes, leaving crescent moonblades along its path. And now that gets me onto why I'm in the Deeproot Depths, because I was here to get Vacuum Slice. And the way I got here was through killing Morgott in the Subterranean Shunning Grounds, and then going through an illusory wall nearby the Frenzy Flame Fingers. And from then on, it was just a bit of traveling until I got into the ruins to pick up the Ash of War from the chest. But now that I had the Ash of War, I needed another katana to go with it. And what happens next, I'm not entirely proud of. And so I'm just going to show you. And I'm sorry, but comments, I was desperate for that sword. And so now that I had combined the 2, I could test out the move, and it was looking pretty good. Next up, to complete the build, excluding Rellana's Full Moon, it was time for me to get Kokushibo's 10th form, where he does 3 rotating slashes, leaving behind crescent moonblades in its path. And the best thing I could find for a move like this was Stormcaller, which meant killing the Teardrop Scarab in Stormveil Castle, and then putting it on one of my katanas to test out against the troll, and a couple more Stormveil enemies while I was at it. However, now I was done with my preparations and it was time to head into New Game Plus. Alright, we're in. I don't actually have enough katanas to use all of Kokushibo's moves every single fight, so we're gonna have to swap Ash of Wars every now and then. Let's start this out with something nice and easy. The first form, let's do it. 1,100 damage immediately off the bat. And I'm throwing. I don't know how I got hit so many times then. Okay, second form, let's go. Pearl Flower Moon Gazing. And I don't have my third form right now because that's one of the Ash of Wars I swapped out. And fifth form's gonna be useless here, so let's go with the sixth form. Okay, sixth form, let's do it. Perpetual Night, Lonely Moon, Incessant. That was a mouthful and a half, but we have just killed him way too fast. That also didn't take any FP. And I think I've just found my most overpowered move. It's time to move on to Morgott. We're rolling up on him, and I've got my third form equipped this time. Let's see how well this can do. I have to do 2 slashes every single time in order for this move to count as Kokushibo's third form, but it's pretty powerful. Next up, we need to do our ninth form. Let's try it. Vacuum Slice. It looks pretty good. Let's try another Waning Moon Swaths. That ain't too bad at all. And now for our 10th form. Hold up, let me just dodge this. Let me cook. Go for it. Drilling Slashes, Moon Through Bamboo Leaves. What on earth was that? I also don't know if I just brute force that and use 2 temp forms or if I just use 1 then. But now it's time for me to take a quick detour because I've realized how we can add Kokushibo's tentacles into the build, which is with the Great Blade Phalanx, and it's located in this Everjail. I just need to kill the boss. And once we have this, these phalanx will act as our tentacles. I just got to choose what move I want to start out with. You know what? For the fun of it, we're going Stormblade first, just for some easy damage. Okay, I missed my second slash. And there he is. He's using my tentacle move. And after he does this, I know what I'm doing next. Hey, stop running from me. Stop running. First form, go. Another first form, go. He somehow missed. First form again. That's a poise break. Give me that. Easy crit hit. How should I end this though? I'm going to end it with a ninth form. Go Waning Moon Swaths. Damn, that was way too easy. But we have it now. So it's time to go test out my newfound move on Godrick. All right, we're here. Let's get it. And you guys may be wondering why I haven't used my fifth form yet. And that's because there hasn't really been an opportunity to use it since it reflects magic. But anyway, I'm starting off with a third form against this guy. I'm not really sure how good that is of me since he also has some sort of wind power on him. And you can see my tentacles just activated. Oh, let's put a couple more of them on. What are you going to do against that? And now I don't actually know what form I have equipped. 10th form, go. How much damage can I get off with this? Oh, I didn't manage to hit him out of that move. Oh, that's damage. But to be fair, we didn't die, so I'll take it. And I'm realizing I didn't swap over any FP flasks. So just for a second, I'm going to attack him normally in order to get ourselves into this second phase without having to waste any FP. And we'll get a good bit of damage off here while he's attacking himself. A hemorrhage proc as well. And we're running straight in. Let's go for it. First form. First form again. Oh, I'm definitely not getting the dodge timing right on this. Okay, there we go. Another first form. Oh, and we get a juicy crit to end it. This build is seeming very overpowered. There's a chance this could be stronger than Yoriichi, which is crazy because this build is technically incomplete. And with that insane momentum, I was already on my way over to the Red Wolf of Radagon. For this fight, I have swapped out my 10th form for my second form because my 10th form is quite a long wind up, so we won't have time for that in this fight. However, if I get a moment where I can chill out here, okay, I completely butchered that, I should be able to cast my 5th form. Oh my god, I'm so low. But that should deal with all of the magic until that's gone. However, focusing on that has actually kind of made me take a lot of damage. So it's time to pay more attention here. Keep it simple. Second form. Oh my god, I almost used the second form again. And I think this is my best scaling move at the moment since it's on Moonveil. First form. Go. God damn, that was like a third of his health. And he's already almost dead. Yeah, magic's not going to work on me as long as I have my 5th form here. And I'm ready to finish you with a second form. Have the Stormblade. Oh, he jumped so far away that I could not kill him with the second form. But now I can. And that's a wrap. Our damage is kind of insane right now. And now that that's over, I've swapped my second form back out for my 10th form again. And I'm quite excited for this next fight coming up. Oh, but I kind of forgot I had to fight this guy first. So I guess we got to deal with him. Start off with a heavy attack. Okay, guard counter's not going to work on me. I'm just going to start spamming. There's no way he parried me and didn't take it. Why is this guy trying to aura farm on me? You can tell I'm really bad at PvP from this fight. Oh, he's potioned up. We've got him on the defensive. And now that his shield's gone, I don't have to worry about any parrying. However, he is just going crazy with dodges right now. And it looks like I'm going to have to go into this Rennala fight with 3 flasks because I just absolutely suck at PvP. However, I back myself on this one because I have my 5th form. But first I got to get through this phase. And I've already been hit by a book. That really doesn't bode well for me, especially when I'm on low flasks. I'm just really hoping that I can kill her in one go. So let's just go for it. Spam. This is all I can do right now. It's just light attack and hope I get hemorrhage. There it was. No, there's no way. I should have greeted for one more hit. I don't know why I chickened out then. That could have been over. And I've ran into fire. What am I doing? Why am I doing so bad in this location negation for some reason. But anyway, she's coming down. We've got 1 flask for this next fight, but I'm not too worried about it. My best play is to get close here, set off an Eternal Darkness, and then just keep attacking her. That doesn't get reflected by the Eternal Darkness. So then all of her spells should be thrown off. However, I have just used that Eternal Darkness in the wrong place, and I'm taking a lot of damage. Is Rennala like immune to this sorcery or something? What's going on? Okay, we're moving in. Just try. She keeps running away. I actually don't know what to do here. What I thought was a foolproof plan is not working. Let's try this again. Eternal Darkness. It's not pulling in. Oh, it is pulling them in, but they have to be really close. Okay, well, in that case, it's time to resort to my best move right after I dodge this. Okay, sixth form, go. Okay, it's doing its thing. I'm on 1 HP, so I really hope I can kill her here. This is looking bad. Do I have any sort of healing? I don't think I do. And I seem to have recovered my FP from my sixth form. Oh, this is it. This is it. Last hit, please. I need to stop her from running. Okay, dodge this. 1 more hit, and she's gone. That was way too close, especially when I was meant to have a move that throws off her entire kit, but it just wasn't working. So now that I had obtained Rennala's remembrance a second time, it was time for me to complete the build with her full moon sorcery. But I wasn't done there, because I was now going to mix my wondrous physic. And for the first half, I decided on the magic shrouding cracked tier, which would give me even more of a damage boost. So I went over to kill the Erdtree avatar in the northeast of Liurnia, and that was the first half complete. Now for our second half, I decided on the opaline hard tier, because this would boost my damage negation just like the thick skin of a demon. And for this, I had to go and kill the putrid avatar near Fort Faroth, and now my wondrous physic had been complete. And so now I was ready to move on to the capital. Okay, it's time to try out my new move. Let's pop a flask first. And now we've got a full moon. Let's send it. Okay, I took a decent amount of damage, but we did 1,200 damage, and we've left some sort of effect on him with the moon. However, that does take a lot of FP, and I've still forgotten to move my flasks over. So let's abandon that for now. First form. Oh, that's my third form. Okay, there's my first form. We're just going to dodge a couple of these. Oh, that is not even my first form. I did the heavy attack version. Now we're doing first form. Go. The damage we're getting is insane. I can just do 1 more attack and he's dead. Adding to my wondrous flask was an insanely good idea. But now I've allocated my flasks and we're moving on to Morgott. I've also swapped out my 10th form for my second form, and I'm ready to ruin Morgott. All right, wondrous physic. I should have done this sooner. We just about dodged him. Let's try and get off a full moon. I've been knocked down from that, but it didn't take my FP, so that's good. After this move, let's try one. Rennala's full moon. Let's go. Okay, we did a decent amount of damage. And now let's do a second form and a dodge. Okay, thank God for that. Now what am I going to try? Where's my other blade? Where's my other blade? All right, 9th form. Let's send it. He dodged. That's fine, though. We can deal with that. We'll just do another 9th form. 900 damage. That's pretty good. However, sadly, the Nagakiba doesn't scale as well as my other katanas do. Let's see. I've got a ranged move here. Flask up real quick. I accidentally used 2 flasks. That's my bad. All right, try it, Morgott. What have you got? There's no way I just let myself get hit by that. And I've got 2 flasks left. Okay, first form. We're doing good damage, though. I'll be honest, the amount of damage we are dealing to this guy is insane. And now I can just finish the fight like that. We are definitely some sort of a glass cannon, because with each hit, I take a lot of damage. But at the same time, I deal tons of damage to the bosses. And after pretty much speed running those bosses, I was on to the Fire Giant and Godskin duo fights, which actually went better than usual, because I first tried the Fire Giant fight and died less times against the Godskin duo. But with that, we were on to Maliketh. Okay, I'm hoping this fight goes better than normal, because we have got an insanely powerful build. All right, we're in. I managed to flask up. This guy has just immediately started running at me without any dialogue. I want to find a moment where I can use a moon here, and I've just been knocked out of my moon. There's no way. Okay, it's seeming like I'm not going to be able to use them. So instead, let's get a transient moonlight going. Until I get to Maliketh, we're just going to have to use first forms. Okay, let's send it. And now I need to run out. Am I out? Am I out? Where's the boulders? Okay, I'm safe. And now another one. Hopefully if I run to this side of him, I won't get hit by that. The good thing is I don't have to deal with this fight for very long, because I do so much damage that it just takes me a couple first forms, and then he should be down to Maliketh. Oh, there we go. I am so glad to be out of that. I just need to get myself some bearings. Let's try a Stormblade. All right, third form, go. I missed both parts, but that's fine. We'll get a couple of normal attacks, a couple more. I don't have enough stamina to try anything else right now. Since the third form didn't work, it's looking like I'm gonna have to try a second form, and we hit some of it. Now we need a flask up, and then after this, first form. All right, next up, 9th form. We haven't used it much. That's big damage right there. And just a normal attack to finish it off. That was so close. I had no health flasks for the end of that. But I'm much better against Maliketh than the Beast Clergyman. Okay, for this next fight, I think it's time to use the 6th form, because I've been sleeping on it for most of this run. So once again, do a quick wondrous physic. And then while he's talking, we just don't even give him a chance. And now we do it. 6th form, go! We're just going to piece him up. This could kill him in one go, because the damage on this move is insane. But we don't let him calm down there, because we just keep at him. We don't let him move. That's a hemorrhage. I need to stop him. Once we dodge this, we'll do a second form on him. Or a third form. I think that was a third form. I just need to stop this guy from being able to get his distance. and use attacks. Because if that happens... Oh, I need to make sure not to move out of this. Hold on. He's caught me for a second. But like I said, if that happens, then I will lose. But we kept on the assault and he is dead. I'm very glad we managed to do that, because if I had given him any space, that fight would have become a whole lot more difficult. However, I did just realize I could have used my 5th form there. But I guess never mind. We're on to Godfrey now. And I'm going to use a flask before I go in. Okay, let's do this. Rennala's full moon straight away. I'm so glad he missed that attack. And then we do a spinning slash for our 3rd form. Is that 3rd or 2nd? I can't remember anymore. And then after he finishes this combo, we'll hit him with a 1st. Then what have we got next? What have we got next? 9th form. God damn, the damage on this build is insane. Dodge that. Dodge it again. And I'm already in need of extra FP. Go 3rd form again. Can we get him into Horoloose phase? And we did. However, now things are going to get a whole lot more difficult. But I'm going to try and keep him at range and do the 3rd form. Oh, he is caught me there. But was it worth it for 1,000 damage? I'm really not sure. I know we managed to preserve our flasks, but now we might start running out of them. This fight doesn't really give me much time to think. So I'm going to have to just start using light hits, because I've really got no clue. Oh, I need to get back, get back, get back. 3rd form while he's running at me. I know he's going to do it. Oh, watch out, watch out. I need to jump that. Jump it again. Am I safe now? Once I dodge this, 1st form. Okay, that's definitely my most damaging move, so I'm just going to have to use that until he's dead, because things are looking very risky right now. Oh, we can dodge that. Easy. 1st form again, and he's almost dead. However, we are down to our last flask, but I believe in us here. Any moment now when he stops attacking. There we go. That's a 1st form, and he's dead. I'm finding out that I keep resorting to the 1st form every time that a fight gets difficult. And for this final fight, I've swapped out my 2nd form for my 10th form. So we're going in. Okay, quickly, quickly, quickly. While he's taking his time, let's see if I can get a couple of Rennala moons off just while he's busy. Okay, I can only get 1 off, but that's fine. Maybe if I get some more distance. He knows what I'm doing. I can't get distance to try and use this moon. All right, let's try one now. Please hit him. Okay, let's hope and pray that that was good enough. Oh, and the damage is so good on my 1st form. That's why I keep resorting to it so much. But anyway, now he's busy walking at me. We'll do a 3rd form. I think he just parried it, actually. A couple of light hits, more light hits. And now we hit 3rd form again. He doesn't give me enough time to use my full 3rd form. But what about our 9th form? Even though it's not really that good for damage scaling, I just like to see it used. Now we just get away from there. What else have we got? We've got our 10th form, but I kind of can't risk that right now. So it's looking like we'll have to use 1st form until we get to a bit of a tankier boss, which should be soon. I just need a couple more light hits, and then we should be sorted. Okay, 1 more. I just need a moment where he chills out. Is he chill? He's not chill. He's not chill. Okay, go, go, go. He's on the end lag. And now we're into a bit more of a tame boss. So while this guy's busy trying to do his starting animation, let's run behind him and get Rennala's full moon off. And he just ran away while I was doing that. I'm sure that's fine. I mean, it only takes a 1/3 of our FP. Not like I wanted that FP anyway. But now he's on a big end lag after using a massive combo. And it doesn't seem that great for damage. But what about our 10th form? How's that looking for damage? And he ran away from it. But it did do 700 damage. However, I can do so much more with just a couple of light hits. Maybe I'm just sleeping on it though. So I'm just going to wait for him to finish this. All right, 10th form again. How much can we get? Yeah, about, 1,000 damage, actually, if I manage to hit the whole thing. That's not bad. And what have we got now? Let's use the tentacles. Now let's use an Eternal Darkness. I'm using my 5th form on the completely wrong move. Let's just get out of there. Tentacles, go. They did hit him for like 400 damage. It's looking like our 1st form is the best bet. And I've only got 1 last move to use. And now we're all out of forms. From here on, it's just going to have to be normal attacks. Sorry, I had to kind of lock in there for that move. But I'm not too mad about that because we do pretty good damage with our Moon Veil. And now we get a crit. This is going to hit for a lot. Damn, 2k damage is insane. And now we get some extras while he's just stuck there being mad about the fact that I knocked him down. I do wish I had allocated 1 more flask over to FP for this fight because I've already ran out of forms to use. And I really wish I could end this fight with a form. But I guess we'll just have to do it with our light attacks. But I guess, you know, that's fine. And really, we could make a pseudo 9th form with 1 very big heavy attack, but only after we give him 1 more move. Okay, what's your final move? And he's gone with a very, very big move. Oh god. Oh, okay, there we go. But I got so close to him that it didn't really matter. And I failed to use my 9th form because I was running. It was meant to be this. This was meant to be our 9th form. But I guess you can't win them all. And I've got some really suspicious stains on me right now. So let's clean those up. And as for our build, these are the stats. I did have to grind quite a lot for these extra levels in order to have 70 intelligence and some decent dexterity scaling. And for the weapons, we got Moon Veil, Magic Uchi Katana with Storm Blade on it, Magic Uchi Katana with Storm Cooler on it, Hand of Malenia, Magic Nagakiba with Vacuum Slice on it, the Karen Regal Scepter, Raptor's Black Feathers, Oathseeker Nightgreaves, Great Jar's Arsenal, Radagon Sword Seal, Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm. In our Flask of Wondrous Physic, we have Magic Shroud in Correct Tier and Opaline Hard Tier. Also for one of our forms, remember I use Spinning Slash. And as for the sorceries, we've got Eternal Darkness, Great Blade Phalanx, and Rennala's Full Moon. And thank you for watching. We have managed to run the full gauntlet as Kokushibo. And dare I say, this build was even more powerful than Yoriichi. So thanks for watching. See ya.